An African village with dusty roads, thatched huts merging with modern buildings in the distance. Children in various uniforms pass by, carrying school bags. A wide shot zooms in on a large gated boarding school compound, a blend of older colonial style, architecture and vibrant local patterns. In the bustling outskirts of Enyand, there stood a reputable boarding school lauded for discipline and excellence. Yet in its quiet corridors, a drama would unfold, a tale of a girl's greed, teacher's misdeeds, and a lesson etched in the heart of anyone who hears it. School courtyard. Students wearing crisp boarding school uniforms gather in small groups. A strikingly beautiful teenager, Zainab, around 16 or 17, adjusting her school bag with a confident air. Zainab, not only physically attractive but known for her charming smile. Friends. A few classmates greet her with warmth, though some whisper about her rumored vanity. Among them was Zainab, a girl admired for her beauty and sharp wit. Yet within her heart stirred a dangerous longing. She yearned for comforts and luxuries that her modest background couldn't afford. Unchecked, that hunger would lure her into perilous choices. She exchanges brief pleasantries with friends, scanning the campus with keen eyes. Soft whispers from onlookers mention her beautiful looks, hinting at her inflated sense of self-worth. The boarding school life. A montage of daily boarding school routines. Students attending morning assembly, studying in classrooms, sharing lunch in the dining hall. We see Zainab bored in a large classroom, flipping through pages of a textbook without focus. Teacher 1, Mr. Kato. Strict older man known to be stern. Teacher 2, Mr. Tamba. Younger, charismatic but rumored to have questionable boundaries with students. Shots of teachers giving lectures, checking homework. Meanwhile, Zainab exchanges sly glances with certain teachers, hinting at her awareness of their admiration for her beauty. In this environment, teachers wielded authority, but not all were honorable in their conduct. Zainab's natural charm soon attracted the attentions of a few unscrupulous educators, like sparks waiting for tinder. A spark of greed dormitory corridor after class. Zainab and a close friend Aisha walk together discussing daily life. A teacher, Mr. Tamba, lingers near the staff offices, eyeing Zainab with a subtle grin as she passes by. Aisha, lowerings, voice noticing the look. Zainab, did you see Mr. Tamba glancing at you? He seems interested. Zainab, smiling knowingly. He's not the only one. Mr. Kato too. You see the way he compliments my uniform or hair. She shrugs. Maybe that's normal for teachers. Aisha, uneasy. Be careful. Some teachers have a bad reputation, especially if they think a student is open to certain favors. Though her friends warned her, Zainab's curiosity and hunger for advantages, money, gifts, began to blur the boundaries of right and wrong. The first approach. Late afternoon. A quiet corridor near the library. Mr. Tamba stands at a bulletin board. Zainab, parted from her friend, approaches with her typical confidence. Mr. Tamba smiling broadly. Zainab, how was your day, dear? Need help with assignments? Zainab, coyly. Possibly. Some extra coaching for math. But sir, I might not afford extra lessons. Mr. Tamba, soft chuckle. We can sort something out. I know you're bright. He lowers voice. Maybe you and I can chat privately. Let's see how I can help. No cost. Zainab nods, acknowledging a silent bargain forming. She's intrigued by the promise of special treatment, maybe an exchange of sorts. She senses his ulterior interest, choosing not to shy away. Her greed overshadowed the moral danger. With each step, she ventured deeper into a path where teachers exploited her and she in turn exploited them for material gains. Improper favors for money. Over the following weeks, a montage. Zainab stays after class with certain teachers, Mr. Tamba, Mr. Kato, etc. She emerges from staff offices with small gifts, perhaps extra pocket money, a new phone accessory, or fancies, treats. The uneasy glances from classmates who suspect wrongdoing. Teacher X discreetly hands her some cash, murmuring, "Keep this secret." Zainab uses that money to buy trendy items, boasting to a few select friends. Aisha looks on, worried, urging her to stop. Aisha, cornering Zainab, "What's going on with you and the teachers? People talk." "This is risky, Zainab." Zainab, shrugging. "Why not? I deserve a better life. They're adults. If they want to spoil me, who am I to refuse?" Consumed by greed, Zainab glossed over the moral abyss forming beneath her feet. The teachers, equally culpable, indulged their own unethical desires. All remained hidden behind closed doors until fate intervened. Signs of trouble and gossip school dining hall. Students line up for meals, chatting. Some point at Zainab, whispering rumors about teacher-student impropriety. Student 1, "I heard she gets rides in Mr. Tamba's car." Student 2, "Yes. And last week Mr. Kato gave her new textbooks for free." Something's off. Zainab overhears the murmurs, forcing a confident smile, but her eyes flicker with anxiety. She realizes gossip is intensifying. As rumors spread, teachers grew more cautious, though none admitted wrongdoing. Tensions rose within the school as suspicious glances flew. The dean's suspicion, the office of the dean of students, a strict respected figure named Mrs. Chime. She sits behind a desk, flipping through complaints or hearing whispered concerns from other staff about unusual teacher-student closeness. Mrs. Chime, frowning. "I have heard unsettling reports about Zainab and certain teachers. This cannot be overlooked. If there's any truth to it, they're violating every rule." She stands, determined to investigate. A short montage might show her quietly monitoring halls, noticing Zainab's frequent visits to staff offices after hours. Secrecy can only persist so long. Eventually, watchful eyes see enough to suspect grave misconduct. The time of reckoning drew near. Confrontation in the classroom. Late afternoon. The dean enters a classroom unexpectedly, finds Mr. Tamba and Zainab alone. They appear to be in close conversation, with Mr. Tamba handing her a small envelope. Mrs. Chime, sternly, "What's happening here?" Both jump. Mr. Tamba quickly pockets the envelope, feigning innocence, while Zainab's face pales. Mr. Tamba, stammering, "Oh, just giving her some notes. For exam revision." Mrs. Chime, coolly surveying them, "Let me see those notes." He hesitates. Zainab looks down, guilt on her face. The dean's expression says she suspects more than notes. She instructs them to follow her to the office for questioning. The mask of deceit cracked. The dean demanded answers spurred by moral duty to protect students from exploitation. The ugly truth emerges. The dean's office. Tamba and Zainab stand. The dean and a second administrator question them. Tamba tries to lie. Zainab, frightened, remains silent. Mrs. Chime, "Zainab, I need honesty. Have you been receiving money or gifts from teachers in exchange for special favors?" Zainab's eyes well with tears, torn between fear of punishment and shame. Zainab, voice trembling, I didn't mean for this to happen. I just wanted money for nicer things. They offered and I accepted." Tamba, protesting, "She's lying. She's just a manipulative student. I was just helping a bright girl." The dean hushes him, turning to Zainab. A torrent of allegations and half-admissions flowed, revealing how greed and teacher misconduct had blossomed behind locked doors. We see a short montage of other teachers being questioned, some admitting to giving Zainab gifts or money. The school's administration looks dismayed. Consequences and shame. An assembly hall next morning. The entire school is gathered. The principal stands on stage, flanked by the dean. They address the student body about the scandal that surfaced. Principal, gravely, "It saddens me to announce that certain staff have violated our code of conduct by forming improper relationships with a student. We do not tolerate such behavior. Effective immediately, those teachers are suspended pending investigation." The crowd murmurs. Some teachers appear uneasy. Others look outraged at their colleagues' betrayal. Zainab, singled out by the principal, stands quietly to one side, tears on her cheeks. Principal: "Zainab will also face disciplinary measures, including counseling for this situation. Let this be a lesson. Any abuse of authority or disregard for morality can harm lives and tarnish our school's name." No one emerged unscathed. The teachers lost reputations. Zainab, once so proud, felt only shame and sorrow for the path she had chosen. Family intervention and healing. Zainab's family home. Her parents, previously unaware, sit with the school's dean and Zainab. The mood is sober. Zainab stares at the floor, tears in her eyes. "Father," voice quivering in anger and pain. "Why? Zainab, why did you do this? We never imagined you'd seek money in such a way." Mother, holding Zainab's hand, voice thick with tears. "My child, we wanted a good future for you. Greed has led you astray. But we also realize we might have missed signs. We're here now. We'll support you through the consequences." The dean, calm but firm, outlines the discipline. Possible expulsion, or a final chance if she shows remorse and cooperates with counseling. The parents nod grimly. At last, Zainab realized that short-term gains from her greed had brought deep heartbreak upon herself and others. True wealth could never come from betrayal of moral truth. Epilogue and morale. A few months later. Zainab stands outside a school gate wearing a simpler uniform. No fancy adornments. She's returning to classes after a suspension or heavy sanctions. A counselor or teacher with integrity, like Ms. Bintu, accompanies her. In this African folktale, Zainab learned that beauty and cleverness, when guided by greed, led only to disgrace. The teachers who exploited her lost their honor and livelihood. She faced humiliation and nearly lost her future. Yet with genuine remorse, she began the slow climb toward redemption. Key moral lessons. Greed clouds judgment. Whether student or teacher, letting greed drive one's actions invites disaster. Misuse of power. Adults who exploit students betray their calling and harm young lives. Consequences are inevitable. Hidden secrets eventually surface, bringing shame and regret. Redemption. Through accountability, genuine remorse, guidance, and moral support can help a person rebuild a damaged path.